Hey guys, how's it going? Back with another episode of 10-minute trades. If you missed my prior two episodes, I did one on AMD 2 days ago. Last night I did one on Rocket Company's ticker symbol RKT. And on that video, the most upvoted comment by a user that still had notifications turned on was for this ticker symbol BIGC, or Big C I'm gonna call it. And I will admit I am not familiar with this company. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on it, but looks like this is a new company that has been publicly traded. The first day of trading was August 5th of this year, so similar to RKT, not a lot of data here to analyze or to go off of. Again, as we can see, the 21-day moving average is very short because, again, hasn't even been trading for that long. There is no 50-day moving average because, well, it hasn't been trading for 50 days. So let's see what we can do. But first, let's learn a little bit about this ticker because I don't know what it is. So Bigcommerce Holdings says they're in technology services package software. Okay, I mean, that really doesn't clear anything up for me, but let's just see what's going on. They had our earnings session on September 9th. How did they do? Oh, surprise. They were actually estimated to be negative 0.51 and they were positive 0.35. So had a good earnings session, and that was this day on September 9th. But despite the good earnings, it still sold off. So, you know, to be determined. Let's take a look at some of these technicals. Looks like it's a strong sell based on some of these technicals. Let's just do a deep dive into it. So apparently the oscillators are saying sell. The overall summary is a strong sell. There's 11 sell indicators and only 2 buy indicators. The moving average is saying strong sell. So I don't know what tickers you guys are playing, but honestly, based on what I'm seeing so far, I would not want to touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. I mean, look at this. All the moving averages are sell, 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 sell. The MACD is saying buy, but that's really about it. The Hull moving average, not even sure what that even means, but whatever. What tickers are you guys playing? Not sure if this was some sort of meme stock that someone was trying to troll me with, but hey, it's got candlesticks, so let's do some technical analysis on it. So you know, I always like to start off with some Fibonacci retracements. So I started off with the first day of trading here, which is pretty much the low. I mean, the lowest ever gotten was about 63.80 or so. The day that it opened was about $66. So just for argument's sake, let's just draw the Fibonacci retracement starting at that low point for the day. And then we'll draw it to the peak, which was on August 27th, which was a high of about $162. Wow. So Big C went from trading the 60s to nearly tripling in value in the matter of less than a month, from August 5th to August 27th. So I don't know, guys and girls, based on what I'm seeing so far, this seems like it has all the makings of some sort of meme or hype stock, but let's keep going. So we can see, you know, this basically this 100% Fibonacci level where I drew it seemed like that was a little bit of a support back in August 19, 2021, because it did dip past below it, but then promptly rose back above it. Right now, we just closed the day at about $80.26. It's actually up a little bit after hours at $80.99, just shy of $81. But let's just do a little bit more digging, because right now it is trading below the 21-day moving average for the past 5 trading days. And you can see it broke below last Wednesday on September 9th. So let's take a look and try and identify some levels of support and resistance. So right off the bat, I saw this area, which the top of the candle here, pretty much the top of the candle here, and the bottom of this candle, and pretty much the bottom of these 2 candles, but also the bottom of this wick here, which is at about $93 and some change. So this looks like a pretty significant trend line to me right now. And because we're trading below it, I'm going to call this an area of resistance. And actually it's very close to the 21-day moving average right now, which is at about 95.50. This trend line I drew at the low 93. So again, just to keep in mind, these trend lines are not 100% accurate, detailed lines, right? I'm not saying that $93.33 is exactly the level of resistance. I'm saying it's an area, right? 93, 94, 95, 92-ish. It's all within that vicinity of an area of resistance. So let's keep going here. The next level that I noticed as possibly being resistance was right here at about $110, just shy of $111. And I say that because, again, we see the top of this wick here, top of the wick here, pretty much the bottom of this candle here. So I think this is also going to be the next level of resistance if we start rising and rallying again in this ticker. But let's keep going. I think right now, actually right where we closed today, looks like it's going to be a pretty strong area of support. And that's right at, just shy of $81, somewhere around $80 and some change. And I say that because the bottom of today's wick is right there. This candle was pretty darn close. This wick was pretty much right there. Actually, the 3 trading wicks on September 10th, 11th, and Monday the 14th all basically touched this support level. And not only that, but the intraday low on September 4th also got to that level. Here we see the top of the candle here, top of the candle here, and here, pretty much the bottom of the candle here. So there have been a lot of points in the past about actually 2 trading months, or I should say 1.5 trading months, where it seems like Big C has touched $80, $81. So if you are playing this ticker, and best of luck to you, but if you are playing this ticker, or if you hold shares, I do think that where we are or where we close today is going to be an area of relatively strong support. But let's keep going here and see what we end up with. So the one thing I noticed was we have a gap here, because from August 28th to August 31st, we gapped down. So there's a gap from about 122 to about 129. So looking to fill this gap at some point. But again, if we're going to fill this gap, we're going to need to blast past this area of resistance and this area of resistance. So unless some crazy good news comes out in the market, like a stimulus bill passing, or some good news comes out on Big C, I really don't think it's going to be anytime soon that Big C is basically going to, essentially, I don't want to say double in price, but get darn near close, because it's trading at $80 and this is all around 120 to 130-ish. So I would not get my hopes up in the near future about having this gap fill, but crazier things have happened, right? Now, the one last thing is I saw that there's kind of been a bearish trend lately ever since August 28th. And keep in mind that August 28th, or this downward trend, was before the recent stock market sell-off on early September. So you got to wonder, why did Big C sell off? And that's also before their earnings. So I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't been too familiar with this ticker, but I don't know if any bad news came out on Big C or what happened, why they started a downward trend. But I did notice that there's basically been a downward channel here. If we draw a line basically from the top of the wick on August 27th to basically the top of the wick today, and then from the bottom of the wick on September 4th, we can see we're in a downward channel here, which is, again, a very bearish sign, not very good. I personally have no interest in playing this ticker, but let's see what happens, because right now the candle is at the top of this channel. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, to see what happens tomorrow, because if we do have a green day in Big C tomorrow, that means we're going to have broken out of this channel, and then also that means we would have bounced up above this $80 trend line, which I think is going to be strong support. So if that happens, then for me that actually makes me feel better that $80 is a very strong support for Big C. So not financial advice, but if you did want to trade options, I would consider selling cash grid puts below $80, presumably below $67 if you can, because then it's below this support line, and also the 100% Fibonacci level, which appears to be a relative area of support as well based on its past trading. The other way you could play this is by selling put credit spreads if you don't want to sell cash grid puts or you don't have the capital. But again, I would make sure that my strikes are definitely below 80 and ideally below 67 if the premiums are juicy enough. But we'll have to see, because again, in order for Big C to get past 93, it would have to go above, first of all, this 78.6% Fibonacci level, which may be a area of resistance as well, because we can see the top of the wick here, and we touched it here with this wick. So there are basically 2 candles, so I wouldn't say it's a strong area of resistance, but I would consider it a relatively weak area of resistance. But not only that, you have this trend line that I drew at 93, and then you also have the moving average, which is right there as well. So I personally think that Big C is probably going to want to trade between about $80 and maybe high 80s, or at the most low 90s. So I think, let's just say for argument's sake, between $80 and $90 until we have some sort of big movement, either to the downside or to the upside. So that's my 10-minute analysis on Big C. Again, let me know in the YouTube comments section below what ticker you want me to do tomorrow. The highest upvoted comment by a user that has subscription and notifications turned on will win the video. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my video. Let me know if you're playing Big C, and let me know why you're an animal, because why would you do that? I don't see anything appealing about Big C, but you do you, my friends. Happy trading.